If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Well, how do you think that Rex Ryan would do in New York?
Good question. Well, once we can get Rex to come out of his shell and really, put it out there, then I think he's going to be fine. But as we all know, Rex is so reserved. And I saw the other day where Rex was upset because no one's picking them to win the whole thing. He thinks they ought to be the Super Bowl champs. And you know what? I wouldn't underestimate them. They're a very good football team. Great defense, running the ball. I don't know that Sanchez is quite at the point. I think they'll win this weekend. Hate to pick against our good friend Marvin, but I don't know that the passing game of Cincinnati is going to be up to the task of taking on the Jets this week. But I think when they then go to the next level, they have to play Indianapolis or San Diego, the matchup of the quarterbacks. And Sanchez is going to be okay. But if it drops on his shoulders and they got to throw the ball a lot, I'm not sure they're going to hold up that way. But for first year, obviously he's done a great job.
I got to follow up for that. I'm doing a book this year on coaching and leadership, and I'm going to start with sitting with him. I'm probably going to interview 100 different people this year. So if you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, the book will be coming out in September. And this is a great adjunct question. It's some sort of leadership thing. Rex Ryan's so outspoken. John Harbaugh's close to the vest. You had your style. Andy Reid has his style. Certainly Bill Belichick has his style with information and how to treat it. How many people have come to you and asked you how you treated the media? And I guess you're famous for the Tampa speech and all that stuff, or famous for the spear and the banshee and that whole thing. But obviously Rex has that personality, and a lot of people would say that's not the way to go in New York. Shut up, do your job, don't be outspoken in New York. There are a lot of different people. Clearly, he handles it a lot different than Tom Coughlin handles it.
Yeah, the trouble is you find out when you take one of these jobs, first and foremost, you got to be who you are. You try to be somebody else. You try to change your style. I've seen guys do that. Good assistant coaches, guys that have a certain personality, they become a head coach, and all of a sudden they become someone different. Anybody that knows Rex Ryan, he has stayed consistent. And I don't know how you'd be any other way in New York than that. If you try to think, you know what, I'm just going to sit back here, I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to stir the pot, I'm not going to defend my guys, I'm not going to defend myself, I'm not going to offend anybody in the media. New Yorkers don't respect that. You know better than that. And New York is there's always the agenda. I could always tell when we're playing a New York team. Because if I talk to a New York writer and you're doing an interview and he says, okay, you're playing the Giants this week, what do you think? Well, you know what, their running game is really good. Oh, so you think their passing game is terrible? Well, no, I just said their running game was really good. Yeah, but you didn't bring up their passing game. They're always going to try to find that edge. Rex handles it very well. The difficulty is if they get into a period where they have some losing, particularly in a row, that New York media can it can wear you out. And at some point, Rex may grab one of those writers by the throat and just shake him to death right there. So hopefully he can refrain from doing that. But I think he's handled it just the way he needs to, because he'd be any other.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.